Welcome to Sleep Story. Let the soothing cadence of a story weave through your consciousness, lulling your body to rest and your mind to tranquility as you drift into dreams on the wings of imagination.
However, Li Le led his troops, fraudulently claiming to be Li Ju and Guosi, to chase after the carriage, and the Son of Heaven was greatly alarmed. Yongfeng said, "This is Li Le." So he ordered Su Wang to meet him. Li Le himself went out to fight. When the two horses met, he was cut down by Su Wang's axe, killed the rest of his men, and protected the carriages to cross the K Pass. Zhong Yong, the governor of Sokka, welcomed him at Sokka Road. The emperor appointed Zhong Yong as the Grand Secretary of the Imperial Court. Yong resigned from the emperor and left for Nuo Wang. When the emperor entered Luoyang, he saw that the palace was burnt down, the market was deserted and full of artemisia grass, and there were only decayed walls and bad walls in the palace courtyard. Yongfeng was ordered to build a small palace to live. Hundreds of officials to congratulate are standing in the thorns. The imperial decree to change Xingping for Jianan first year. It was the year of the Great Famine. Luoyang residents, only a few hundred families. There is nothing to eat, all out of the city to peel the bark, digging grass roots to eat. All of them, from Shangqilang downwards, went out of the city to woodcut, and many of them died between the decaying walls and the bad walls. The end of the Han dynasty, the decline of luck, no more than this. The descendants have a poem Sai said. The blood flow Mangang white snake died, the red banner travelling in all directions, the Chindia by turning over the rise of the countryside, Chujui pushed down the establishment of the border. The Son of Heaven was weak and treacherous, and the colour of the people withered, and the thieves went wild. Seeing the two capitals in distress, the Iron Man without tears is also terrified. Yong Bao, the lieutenant of the emperor, said, the previous imperial edict, but never sent. Now Cao Cao in Shandong, strong soldiers and generals, can be declared into the dynasty to assist the royal family. The emperor said, I had surrendered before the edict. Secretary Wei play again. This is to send someone to go on it. Bao received the decree. That is, sent a mission to Shandong. Cao Cao was summoned, but said Cao Cao in Shandong heard that the cars returned to Luoyang, gathered strategists to discuss. Zun Yu said, the former Duke of Jin, Zhou Xiong Wang, and the vassals to obey. Hong Go Zhu for the mourning of Emperor Yi, and the world to return to the heart. Today, the son of dust, General Cheng, so when the first advocate of righteous soldiers, the son of God from the crowd of hope, the strategy of the world. If you do not plan early, people will precede me and do it. Cao Cao was delighted. Just about to pack up and start the army, suddenly reported that there is an angel-present imperial edict to summon. Cao Cao received the imperial edict, the day of the rise of the army, but said the emperor in Luoyang, all things are not ready, the city collapsed, want to repair cannot. It was reported that Li Ju and Guosi would arrive with their troops. The emperor was shocked, asked Yongfeng said, Shandong's ambassador has not returned. Li, goose soldiers and then come, for what to do? Yongfeng, Han Siam said, I would like to fight with the thieves to the death, to protect His Majesty. Dongcheng said, the city is not strong and the armor is not much. If the battle is not won, what should we do? If we don't win the battle, what will happen? Let's go to Shanting to avoid it. The emperor from his words the same day to start driving to look at Shandong. Hundreds of officials without horses, all with the driver on foot. Out of Luoyang, lying without a stone's throw, but see the dust head, gold drums and noisy sky. Unlimited people came. The emperor and queen trembled and could not speak. Suddenly saw a horseman fly. Is the former mission to Shandong also? To the car in front of the worship, Kai said. General Cao, all of the troops in Shandong should come by imperial decree. Heard Li Ju. Guosi committed Luoyang, first sent Xiahou-Dun for the vanguard. Leading 10 generals, 50,000 troops, came to protect the driver. The emperor's heart is at ease. A short while, Xiahou-Dun leads Su Chu, Dian Wei, etc., to drive in front of the gentlemen, all to see the military salute. Emperor Comfort Oracle after suddenly reported that the east and all the way to the army. The emperor immediately ordered Xiahou-Dun to explore the back to say, is Cao foot soldiers also? In a moment, Cao Hong, Li Dian, music to come in to see the driver. After the name, Hong said, my brother knows that the thieves to the near. I fear that Xiahou-Dun alone is difficult to do, so again sent ministers and other times the road to assist. The emperor said, General Cao really minister of the gods, and then ordered to escort the driver forward. Scouts came to report. Li Ju and Guosi led the troops to come. The emperor ordered Xiahou-Dun to meet them into directions. Dun and Cao Hong split into 2 wings. The horsemen went out first, followed by the footmen, and attacked as hard as they could. The army of Zhu and Si was defeated, and more than 10,000 heads were beheaded. He then invited the emperor to return to his former palace in Luoyang. Xiahou-Dun tuned his troops outside the city. The next day, Cao arrived with a large force. After setting up camp, Cao entered the city to meet the emperor and bowed to him at the foot of the palace steps. The emperor gave him a flat body and announced his condolences. Cao said, I have been blessed by the state, and I want to repay it. Now Zhu, you 2 thieves, sinful, I have more than 200,000 troops, to the smooth to fight against the enemy, no success. Your Majesty is good to protect the body of the dragon. The gods of earth and grain are the most important thing. The emperor appointed Cao to be the commander of Si Li and fake battle axe to record the affairs of Shangshu. However, Li Ju and Guosi knew that Cao had come from afar and wanted to fight quickly. Jia Duan admonished, no. Fuck troops, elite generals' courage. Better to surrender. Seek to avoid their own sins. Zhu angrily said, you dare to destroy my vitality. He drew his sword and wanted to behead Jia. All the generals persuaded him to be spared. That night, Jia Yan's single horse walked back to the countryside to go. The next day, Li Ju's army to meet the drill troops. Cao first made Su Chu, Cao Ren, Dian Wei led 300 iron horsemen. In the Zhu array clashed 3 times, only then set up the array. Formation round, Li Ju nephew Li Xian. Li be out of the horse in front of the formation. Before the opening statement, Su Chu flew past the horse. A knife first beheaded Li Xian. Li be ate a shock, fell off the horse. Chu also chopped. Double pull the head back to the formation. Cao stroked Su Chu's back and said, Z really my fan Kuai also. Then ordered Xiahou-Dun to lead the troops out of the left. Cao Ren led the troops out of the right, and Cao led the center of the army. The drum sounded. The 3 armies advanced. The thieves could not resist the enemy. and they were defeated and left. Cao manipulated his sword to escort his troops and led them to chase and kill them all night long, killing many of them and sending them down. Zhou and Lv looked to the west and fled for their lives, as if they were lost dogs. Knowing that they had nowhere to go, they had no choice but to go to the mountains and fall into the grass. Cao returned to his troops and remained outside Luoyang. Yongfeng and Han Xian discussed. Now that Cao has achieved great success, he will be in charge. How can he tolerate us? They went to the emperor, and in the name of killing Zhou and Lv, they led their troops to Daliang. The emperor one day ordered people to play camp, declared playing to the palace to discuss. Cao heard the angel too, please enter to meet, only to see that person's eyebrows and eyes, the spirit of sufficient. Fox secretly thought, now the East is a big shortage, bureaucrats and soldiers are hungry, this person why alone fat? Because of the question said, public honorable face full of fat, to what conditioning unto this? Said, I have no other way, only eat like 30 years. Cao Nai nodded, and asked, what position do you hold? Said, a filial piety Leon, originally for Yuan Shao, Zhongyong engaged. Now heard that the Son of Heaven, to return to the capital, specially come to the audience, the official title of the discussion of the Lang. A native of Dingtao in Jiyin, his surname is Dongjiao, and his name is Gongren. Cao avoided the table and said, I've known you for a long time, I'm glad to see you here. So he set up a wine tent to wait, so that Zhe knew to meet. Suddenly people reported that, a group of army to the east, I do not know who. Cao anxious people to explore, Dong Zhao said. This is Li Ju's old General Yongfeng, and White Wave Marshal Han Xian, because Ming came here, so he led the troops one to throw the ear of Daliang. Caviar said, is it possible to doubt caviar? Zhao said, this is a tactless generation, Ming why worrying about it? Fuck also said, Li, Guo two thieves disco how? Zhao said, the tiger has no claws, the bird has no wings, soon to be captured by Ming, do not mind. Cao see Zhao's speech is opportune, then asked to the court of major events. Zhao said, Ming to rise the righteous soldiers, to remove the riots, into the dynasty to assist the Son of Heaven, this 5 hegemony of success. But the generals have different intentions, may not be obeyed. If you stay here, I'm afraid there is inconvenience. The only thing to do is to move the car to Xudu for the best policy. However, the court broadcast Yue, the new return to the capital, near and far, looking forward to a day of peace. This time to migrate to the driving, not tired of the hearts of the masses. If you do very thing, they are very successful, I hope the general decided to plan. Cao Zhao bowed hands and smiled and said, this is my original intention. But Yongfeng in Daliang, ministers in the court, there is no other change. Zhao said, easy, with the book and Yongfeng, the first peace of mind. Ming told the minister, to the capital without food, want to drive to Xudu, near Luoyang, transit food, so that there is no lack of worrying about the separation. The minister heard, went happy from also. Felt great joy. Zhao thanked goodbye, the fuck to his hand, said, where the fuck have a plan, but the public teach. Zhao thanked and left. Cao from this day, and all the strategists to discuss the matter of moving the capital. At the time of the squire, Wang Li, The imperial historian privately said, Zhongzhengyue said, I look up the astronomy. Since last spring, Taibai offending Zhengxing in the Duxin, Chenjin, the fluorescent baffle and retrograde, and Taibai will be in the Chongkong. Gold and fire will meet. There will be a new son of God out. My view of the Hong gas number will end. Jinwei land. There will be a rise. And secret message to Emperor Xiong said, the fate of heaven has to go. The 5 elements do not always thrive. On behalf of the fire of the earth, on behalf of Han and the world, when in Wei, Cao heard, so that people totally said, I know that the public loyalty to the court, but the way of heaven is far-reaching. Fortunately, do not say too much. Fuck is to tell you. You said, Hunter Fire Virtue King, and Mingong is Earth Life also. Xudu belongs to the earth, to them will rise. The fire can give birth to the earth, and the earth can flourish. Fire can generate earth. Earth can be prosperous wood, just Dong Zhao, Wang Li's words. He will be prosperous in the future. Cao Yi then decided. The next day, into the emperor, said, the east is abandoned for a long time, cannot be repaired. Moreover, the transfer of food is difficult. Xudu is near Luoyang, the city palace, money, food and people's goods, enough to spare. I dare to invite you to visit Xudu, and I hope that your majesty will accept it. The emperor did not dare to refuse. The ministers were all afraid of the power of the emperor, so they did not dare to object. So he chose a day to drive. Cao led the army to escort the journey, and all the officials followed. Within a few journeys, we reached a high mausoleum. Suddenly, there were shouts, and Yongfeng and Han Siam led their troops to block the road. Su Wang was in the lead, shouting, Cao wants to rob us. Where are we going? Cao's house to see Su Wang formidable, secretly surprised. So Su Chu out of the horse and Su Wang, swords and axes, battle more than 50, no victory or defeat. Fuck, that is the sound of gold, to close the army, called the strategist said. Yongfeng, Han Siam's sincerity is not enough. Su Wang is really good generals also. I cannot bear to force and, when the plan to recruit. Manchu, a soldier in the army, said, my lord, don't worry. I have a one-sided acquaintance with Su Wang. Tonight, I will disguise myself as a pawn and sneak into his camp, so that I can persuade him to come to me with all his heart. Cao was happy to send him. That night, Manchu Favor dressed up as a pawn, mixed into his army, and stole to Su Wang's tent, only to see Wang sitting with candles and armor. Favor suddenly came to his front, bowed and said, I have not been well. Su Wang startled up, familiar with the look, and said, Zi's not Xiangyang man, Bo Ningyi. Why are you here? Favor said, I am now working for General Cao. Today in front of the front, I saw my old friend. I want to say something, so I risked my life to come here. Xiao Yan's seat, asked him the intention of coming. Favor said, Gong's courage and skill is rare in the world. Why did he succumb to Yong and Han's disciples? General Cao, when the world's heroes, its good wisdom and courtesy, the world knows also. Today in front of the array, see the male courage, very respect. So do not bear to fight to the death with a healthy general, specially sent favorites to invite. Why do not you abandon the dark and bright, to become a great cause? Shake a long time, is a sigh of relief, said, I know Feng, Siam is not a person of the establishment, nigh from the long time, cannot bear to give up. Favor said, Do not you hear that a good bird chooses a tree nest, a wise minister chooses a master and things? Meet the Lord can work, and arms lost, nong husband also. Huang got up and thanked him, saying, I would like to follow your advice. Favor said, Why don't you kill Feng and Siam and go away as a rite of passage? Zi said, It is a great injustice to kill one's lord with one's subject. I will not do it. Favor said, You are a righteous man. So he led dozens of riders from his tent and came to Cao with man Favor overnight. Someone reported this to Yong Feng, who was furious. Feng was furious and led 1,000 riders to chase after him, shouting, Su Wang, the traitor, don't go. Suddenly, a cannon sounded, torches were lit on the hills and mountains, and ambushed troops came out in all directions. Cao himself led the army ahead, shouting, I've been waiting here for a long time. Don't let me get away. Yong Feng was shocked and rushed back to the army, but he was surrounded by Cao's soldiers. When Han Siam came to his rescue, the two armies fought and Yong Feng escaped. Cao took advantage of the chaos and attacked, and most of the soldiers from both families surrendered. Yong Feng and Han Siam were alone, so they led their defeated troops to Yuan Shu. When Cao returns to his camp, Man Cao brings Su Wang in to see him. Cao was very happy. Generous treatment, then welcomed the imperial chariot to Xudu, building palaces and temples, setting up ancestral temples and shrines, provincial departments and magistracies, and repairing cities, towns and reservoirs, and sealing Dongcheng and other 13 people as a vassal. Reward and punishment, and listened to Cao disposal. Cao appointed himself Marquis of Wuping, General, Zhenyu for the service of the Shangshu order, Zhenyu for the military advisor, Guo Jia for the secretary for the priest, Liu Yi for the secretary for the Puisuan. In addition, Mao Yao and Ren Jun were appointed as the generals in charge of agriculture to supervise money and grain. Cheng Yu was appointed as the minister of Dongping. Fan Cheng and Dongjiao were appointed as the magistrates of Luoyang. Man Cao was appointed as the magistrate of Xudu, and Xiahou Dun and Xiahou Yuan were appointed as the generals of Cao Ren and Cao Hong. Cao Hong, Xiahou Dun, Xiahou Yuan, Xiahou Ren, and Cao Hong were all generals. Lv Jie, Liu Dian, Lejin, Yuban, and Su Wang were all lieutenants. Su Chu and Dian Wei were all lieutenants, and the rest of the generals were each given an official title. The rest of the generals were each given an official title. Since then, Cao has been vested with all the power. All major affairs of the imperial court are reported to Cao before they are presented to the Son of Heaven. Fuck established a major event, was set up a banquet in the back of the hall, gathered a group of strategists to discuss, Liu Bei troops in Xuzhou, leading the state affairs, near Lv to defeat Cast, ready to make the residents in the small pay. If the two are concentrating to lead the troops to violate, is the heart of the trouble also. Gong and so what wonderful plan can be charted? Su Chu said, I would like to borrow 50,000 troops, behead Liu Bei, Lu Bu's head, offered to the Prime Minister. Zhenyu said, General courage is courageous, do not know with strategy. Now Xudu newly settled, cannot make times to use the army. Cao Yu has a plan, called the Two Tigers Competing for Food Plan. Today Liu Bei, although leading Xuzhou, not get the imperial order. Ming Gong can play for the imperial decree actually granted preparation for Xuzhou pasta, because secret with a book, teach to kill Lu Bu. Things come to fruition. Then prepare no fierce as a supplement, but also gradually configure. Things do not work. Then LV will kill the preparation. This is the two tigers competing for food plan also. Fuck from his words. Immediately asked for an imperial edict, sent a present to Xuzhou, sealed Liu Bei for the East General Yi Cheng Ting Ho lead Xuzhou pasta, and attached a secret letter, but said Liu Xuandi in Xuzhou heard the Emperor Fortunate Sudu was about to celebrate on the table. Suddenly reported that the Angel too, out of the country to meet into the county, pay respect to the order of grace after, set up a banquet to treat the envoy. The angel said, Jun who get this order, really General Cao in front of the Emperor's power of protection, also, Xuandi thanked him. The envoy was to take out a private book and pass it to Xuanda. Xuanda read it and said, this matter is still open for discussion. The banquet was dispersed, and the envoy was rested in the pavilion. Xuandi discussed this matter with all the people in the night. Zhong Fei said, Lu Bu is not a righteous person, kill it why not? Xuandi said, he is poor and come to join me. If I kill it, also is not righteous, Zhong Fei said. Good people are hard to do. Xuandi did not follow. The next day, Lv Bu came to congratulate. Xuandi teach please see. Bu said, I heard that you have been ordered by the court, especially to congratulate you. Xuandi thanked him. He saw Zhong Fei pulling his sword into the hall, wanting to kill Lu Bu. Xuandi was in a panic to stop him. Bu was shocked and said, why do you want to kill me? Zhong Fei shouted. Cao said, you are a man of no justice, and told my brother to kill you. Xuandi retreated in a loud voice. He led Lu Bu into the back room and told him the reason why he was there. He then showed Lu Bu the secret letter sent by Cao. After reading it, Bu sobbed and said, this is Cao's desire to make the two of us not get along. Xuandi said, brother, do not worry. Liu Bei vowed not to do this unjust thing. Lu Bu thanked him again and again, preparation to stay cloth drinking wine, until the evening party back. Guan and Zhong said, why didn't you kill Lu Bu? Xuandi said, this Cao Mengde fear that I and Lu Bu conspire to cut down. So use this plan, so that I two are next each other, but he is in the middle of the benefit. Nai why is it made? Guangong nodded yes. Zhong Fei said, I just need to kill this thief to end the future. Xuandi said, this is not what a great man would do. The next day, Xuandi sent mission back to the capital, on the table to thank you, and returned to Cao, only said to allow a delay in the plan. The mission returned to Cao, said Xuandi did not kill Lu Bu. Cao asked Zunyu, this plan did not work. How? All said, there is another plan, called the plan to drive the tiger to swallow the wolf. Fox said, how is the plan? You said, can secretly people to Yuan shoot ask, reported that Liu Bei on the secret table, to strategy South County. Art heard, will be angry and attack the preparation. Gong is explicitly ordered Liu Bei to discuss Yuan Shu. The two sides together. Lu Bu will have a different heart. This is a plan to drive the tiger to swallow the wolf. Cao is very happy. First sent people to Yuan Shu. Second false imperial decree. Sent people to Xuzhou. But Xuandi was in Xuzhou. Heard the mission too. Out of the Guo to meet. Open read the edict, but is to start an army to discuss Yuan Shu. Xuandi received the order and sent the messenger back first. Miju said, this is again Cao's plan. Xuandi said, although it is a plan, The king's order cannot be disobeyed. So he ordered his troops and horses to leave on the day, and Sun Jian said, "You can decide who will guard the city first." Xuandi said, "Two brothers, who can guard?" Guanzhong said, "I would like to guard this city." Xuandi said, "I want to discuss with you sooner or later. How can we leave each other?" Zhong Fei said, "I am willing to guard this city." Xuandi said, "You cannot guard this city. Yuan is strong after drinking, flogging soldiers, too easy to do things. Do not follow people's advice. I do not rest assured." Zhong Fei said, "Brother, from now on, do not drink, do not beat the soldiers, or listen to the advice of others on it." Miju said, "I am afraid that the mouth should not be hard." Fei said angrily, "I have been with my brother for many years. I have never lost faith. How do you lightly expect me?" Xuandi said, "Brother said so. I am not assured. Also please Chen Yuan Long auxiliary, morning and evening to make him drink less alcohol. Do not cause accidents," Chen Deng promised. Xuandi paid when is the unity of the horse and foot army of 30,000, away from Xuzhou looking at Nanyang forward. But Yuan Shu heard that Liu Bei on the table, want to swallow its state and county, was furious and said, "You are weaving mats and sandals of the husband, now always occupy a large county, with the vassals in the same line. I am trying to conquer you, but you want to try to me. This is very hateful." So he made his general Jiling raise an army of 100,000 men and abandoned Xuzhou. The two armies met at Zuyi. Xuandi's army was small, so he set up a fortress by the water. Jiling, a native of Shandong, had a three-pointed sword that weighed 50 catties. On that day, he led his troops to the battlefield and cursed, "Liu Bei is a village idiot. How dare you invade our territory?" Xuandi said, "I was ordered by the Son of Heaven to repel the disrespectful officials. If you dare to come and refuse me, your offense is punishable by death." Jiling was furious, and he shot his horse and waved his sword to Xuandi. Guanzhong shouted, "Don't try to be strong." He went out to fight with Jiling. There were 30 rounds in a row, but no winner. Jiling shouted to take a break, so Guanzhong turned his horse back to the battlefield and stood in front of the battlefield waiting for him. But Jiling sent his deputy general Zhenzhong to come out. Guanzhong said, "Only teach Jiling to come and fight with him." Zhenzhong said, "You are an unknown general, not a match for General Ji." Guanzhong was furious and went straight to Zhenzhong. He exchanged horses and cut Zhenzhong down. When Xuandi drove his troops to kill him, Jiling was defeated and retreated to the mouth of Yuan River, not daring to fight. He only taught his soldiers to steal the camp and rob the fortress, but they were all defeated by Xuzhou soldiers. The two armies are in opposition to each other, not to mention. But said Zhong Fei, since sent Xuandi get up, it should be miscellaneous affairs, are paid to Cheng Yuanlong management. Military affairs, their own discretion, one day, set up a banquet to invite the officials to the table. All seated, Zhong Fei said, "My brother when he left, paid me to drink less, for fear of failure. Today, all the officials to drink, tomorrow, all quit drinking. Help me defend the city. Today, all of them should drink to their heart's content." After saying this, he got up and held a glass of wine with all the officials. Wine to Cao Bao in front of the leopard said, "I quit from the sky. Do not drink wine." Fei said, "How can a man who kills not drink wine? I want you to eat one." Leopard fear, only to drink a cup. Zhong Fei put all the officials pour their own huge goblets, and even drank dozens of cups. Do not feel drunk, but then get up, and all the officials. Wine to Cao Bao, Leopard said. I really cannot drink. Fei said, you just ate. Now why push back? Leopard again and again, do not drink. Fei drunkenly make wine, then angry, said, you disobeyed my orders, should be beaten 100. Then drink soldiers to take down. Chen Yuanlong said, Xuan Degong when he went away, what was assigned to you? Fei said, you civil officials, only civil affairs, do not come to control me. Cao Bao had no choice but to beg, Wing Degong, look at my son-in-law's face, and forgive me. Fei said, who is your son-in-law? Leopard said, Lu Bu is also. Fei was furious and said, I didn't want to beat you. I did not want to beat you, but you put Lu Bu to bluff me. I want to beat you. If I beat you, I am beating Lu Bu. The people could not persuade him. He whipped Cao Bao to 50, and only when they begged for mercy did he stop. After the banquet, Cao Bao went back and hated Zhong Fei. He sent a letter to Lu Bu in Xiaopei, saying that Zhong Fei was impolite, and that Zhuanda had already left for Yuan, so he could take advantage of the drunkenness of Fei to lead his troops to attack Xuzhou tonight, and that he should not miss this opportunity. Lu Bu saw the book, then invited Chen Gong to discuss. Gong said, small pay is not a place to live for a long time. Now Xuzhou has a chance to take advantage of it, and if we don't take it, it will be too late for us to regret. Cloth from the then hung up on the horse, leading 500 riders first. Chen Gong led the army, and Gao Shen followed. Xiaopei is only 40 or 50 miles away from Xuzhou, so it was easy to get there on horseback. When Lu Bu arrived at the city, it was only 4 o'clock. The moon was clear. The city was more unaware of it. Bu went to the side of the city gate and called out, Ambassador Liu has a secret envoy too. The city has Cao Bao army reports to know Cao Bao. Bao on the city to see. Will make the soldiers open the door. Lu Bu gave a signal. The army entered, shouting loudly. Zhong Fei was lying drunk in his mansion, when his left and right hurriedly woke him up and reported, Lu Bu has opened the city gate and killed him. Zhong Fei was furious, panicked and hung up, nicked the spear. Only out of the door of the house on the horse, Lu Bu's army has already arrived, is with the welcome. Zhong Fei at this time still not sober, cannot fight. Lv Bu knew that Fei was brave, and did not dare to force him. 18 riders Yan will protect Zhong Fei, killed out of the east gate. Zhuandi's family in the mansion are not enough to take care of. Cao Bao saw Zhong Fei with only a dozen or so guards, and deceived him into drunkenness, so he led 100 or 10 people to come. When Fei saw the leopard, he was furious and met him with his horse. After 3 rounds of battle, Cao Bao was defeated, and Fei rushed to the river and stabbed Cao Bao right in the back of his heart, killing him with his horse in the river. He died in the river. Fei greeted his soldiers outside the city, and all those who went out of the city went to Yuan with Fei. Lu Bu entered the city to pacify the residents, and ordered 100 soldiers to guard the gate of Zhuandi's residence, so that no one would be allowed to enter. Zhong Fei led dozens of horsemen to Zuyi to siege Zhuanda, and told them that Cao Bao and Lu Bu had joined forces and attacked Xuzhou at night. all of them lost their colors. Yuan sighed and said, "What is there to be happy about gaining? And what is there to worrying about losing?" Guanzhong said, "Sister-in-law in peace." Fei said, "They're all trapped in the city." Yuan was silent. Guanzhong said, "When you first want to defend the city, said what to? My brother assigned you to what? Today the city is lost again. Sister-in-law is trapped. How good." When Zhong Fei heard this, he was so frightened that he switched his sword to cut his own throat. It was too late for Zhong Fei to draw his sword and donate his life, but it was too late for him to do so. I don't know what will happen to his life, but let's listen to the next part of the story.